Yes, it's Nick and Juan for Pedals and Effects, and we are going to cover the Tera Melos, 2 giant pedal boards, Nick's insane Squire guitar that is funky as ever. It's upside down, isn't it? Apparently.
It's an optical illusion because it's actually not upside down. It's designed that way. It looks like it's upside down.
All right. So here we are, like in 5-Star Sound Labs, and I finally got Nick to come through. I know a lot of you have asked me to feature Nick, and here we are, and he's dialing as I speak to give you guys all the delectable sounds that you've been hoping for. So I'm going to start off, Nick, just because of one thing I've always known you to have mastered, and I remember one time you and I spoke, and you even kind of gave me a little bit of heat because you're like, oh, you don't use that part of the function of the green pedal, which is the line 6 sampler delay pedal. Typically the green, as you can see, Nick's is rainbow colored.
It's kind of like clown puke.
Okay, clown puke. Better than rainbow colored. Only for the fact that it goes kind of, I think, with the aesthetic of the rest of your paintings. So anyway, it's an unbelievable sampler as well as an insane delay. I've always loved that pedal. And I usually just sample and loop stuff, and then might drop it octave lower, I might put it in reverse, and then that's it. Nick does all this other shit. Nick, can you please tell us what you do?
So I found this thing. We started using them probably in I didn't have one on our first record. Our other guitar player did, but so probably in 2006 I ended up with one. It's got a million funky delays that are all actually super rad. But to me, what I thought was the coolest thing was at some point before I really started understanding the dynamics of building pedal boards and stuff, I just randomly had it at the end of my chain, and so it ended up being this kind of thing where I only use it for the sample function. I don't, maybe every 150 shows I'll get a hair up my ass in the middle of a song and throw it on a weird thing and kind of fuck around with some weird sounds, but 99.999% of the time it's all this kind of funky loop setting with this sort of it's got the one sample thing, the one shot where you can kind of just mash on that and create all these weird sounds, and then you got the halftime, you can record it at halftime and speed it up, you can reverse it, and then while you're actually recording, you can resample stuff that reverse it during the recording and doing all this crazy shit. So actually, out of the millions of rad things this can do, I mostly focus on just this kind of weird sampling them. I'm really into samples. I think it's fun to get kind of a sound out of all this shit, and then be able to just kind of pull little chunks of it and resample it. And ideally what I would like to have, which if I had more money, I would have another one after this that is also dedicated to sampling, that I could sample my sampled sounds and then loop all that and have it go in double time.
Yes. That would be awesome. And you're right, man, because I really want to say this, what you do in sampling is like another instrument. It's so musical, and I know there's a lot of people they're sampling their vocals and they're building instruments or whatever, but you're literally building orchestral pieces on just this green pedal. So I can you show us a little can you stack stuff, maybe layer it, however you want to do it, but I think it's it has to be seen. And we have our GoPro set up so you guys can see the footwork that he does. Yes. Okay, go for it, Nick.
All right, so let's see. I guess if I'm in my bedroom, obviously it's different when we're playing a set. If we're doing a Tera Melos show, or if I'm doing a solo improvised show, or if I'm in my bedroom, I would kind of approach having fun on my pedal board a little differently.
Right.
So if I was in my bedroom annoying my roommates and my girlfriend, I would probably start off with maybe just some funky bass stuff, which is this fucking crazy, awesome Earthquaker Devices Bit Commander, which I'll talk about that in a while, but that kind of blew my mind. Let's see, okay. So that's kind of
Yes,
some
yes, yes.
weird.
No, that was
improvised
Nick. That was
bizarreness.
awesome. I was blown away, man. I'm telling you, like the way you start generating and you're already mapping that stuff out ahead, and it's mind blowing to me. Like it really is some other shit. Like I just think that. It's just got me like chills. Look at this. My arms, like I'm showing my arms. The hairs are standing up, or there. You can see that.
To me, what's really incredible about doing that stuff is when you start layering all these like funky sounds that aren't on time. Like none of it, obviously. I can't like time this shit out to be like to a click at all.
Right,
I'm awful
right,
with that,
right,
and I don't know if there are other pedals. You know, there's like the boomerang and whatever, this and that of different loop pedals, but to me this is the funnest because I don't like it to be perfect and on.
Sure.
So it's like, you know, when you start layering all these sounds and they're not linked up and they sound kind of fucked up in their own, but then you can resample it, and it's like if we were playing to a click, or if I had, you know, I don't know, if you're creating some kind of like weird musical thing with drums and all this and jamming, you know, you can actually resample it to be on the beat, and so it gives us this really neat loose feel.
Right,
so if I had a drummer playing with me, which obviously we do this a lot when we do perform in Tera Melos or something, you got all these weird sounds that actually do become linked up because you're dropping it on the one with the one play sample.
Right,
so,
right.
You know, let's
right,
see. So,
right.
So it's this fucking just crazy thing, and so I like to do a lot of that on my own, and whatever ends up coming of it, you know, it's usually just kind of for my own pleasure, but I can trip out on doing that and like literally solo jamming in my head for hours.
Yes. It's because you're really is your own private like orchestra
and
at
so,
your feet.
So to me, like basically that is the magic of the Line 6 DL4, being able to just like kind of like get into this really, really weird kind of like personal musical zone with it. And like I said, there's a different approach whether we're playing live, who we're playing with, the venue. You know, sometimes if you're playing this big open weird room in Fresno, a ballroom, it's like you can really like get some crazy shit. And then if I'm playing like, you know, in my bedroom, it might be something different. But in any case, this pedal right here is kind of like a big foundation for me.
Awesome.